Julie here with Sirius Dallas Moon. This is Mars, our Saturn. Saturn? No, it's Mercury night. It's about to be Sol Day. And Mars is 13 degrees Sagittarius. Midheaven is ruled by Mercury at 7 degrees Virgo. And the Mercury is 24 degrees Scorpio. Venus has entered the last decan of Scorpio. And so, with Venus in Scorpio, there is a deeply psychological perspective on values, relationships, and real estate, business. Okay, um, it's an old issue, and it's adjoined with sexual sovereignty agreements, and there is a transformation regarding that. So Mars is in Sagittarius. Somebody wants to make a big money move, and it might even be around peace, okay? Or somebody's planning for peace, somebody's saving for peace, and Moon is in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, that's at the end of Pisces. Now, there has been a deep transformation regarding relation, and that has been blessed. And so, someone has, and this is energy reading, someone has taken a step to show that they're not interested to hurt someone. And then an issue of money came up. And what I'm reading is somebody ran into somebody's business ideology. And that person is on their money in the sense that they were holding their entire life back and business back and changing jobs and changing business ideas and thinking of structure. Like they're standing to the word when it comes to the ideology. And there's another person where they may be either planning to buy real estate or planning to open a business, and they meet, it's not they meet the fact that the values of the person that they are outward trying to communicate with are such that they may have met a person that even though their business is not big, because they are building it in a way that they're building it to fit with their life. If they are healers, they're healing themselves before they heal others. If they are okay, they really are, um, you know, and when it comes to, and that person may have interacted with people that could have come up with many offers, okay, but tended to the ritual abuse around wealth consolidation of natural resources. As a wealth block to both the ritual abuse survivors and those that are still in there, and those that are trying to get something by doing these atrocities or participating in these atrocities. And that's a person that would, that would tell a billionaire that asks, what would you do with I don't know how many millions? And they say, keep it, take down the cult. So Now that that person that may be growing into wealth, or growing into their business, or growing, maybe buying real estate, that person voted the human rights of the other person who is planning their business without violating human rights out. And now they think that they can embrace something, and somebody will assist them in their dream to buy real estate without them voting the human rights of their friend back in. And not back in, but for the first time in. Because if that person, and this is where they run into a business ideology. So it's a person that may have thought even to hire someone or so, but they were mixing in so many things that that they were sent by spirit to look at their needs, discern their needs, meet their needs adaptively. And it can be that it's a process of slow growth. However, they have had expectations that certain people would pay. Maybe they even took a loan, and they've had expectations that certain people would pay it. The people that they deprived of human rights by voting them out, by working with bodies that do rituals of extreme satanic abuse, no touch torture, do and not be seen rape. And to undo that, they would have to undo the entire system that does that out of the life of the people that's been affected by these harms. No more J. Rockefeller. No more throwing shitloads of chaos and then, thinking that, oh, I will give you a hug, come work for me. No, you threw that shitload of chaos. If you indeed would prefer to, I don't know, whatever, so not to hurt, so show it also in business. Show it in business that you would prefer so and so and so, and just not to hurt. Show it that if, and you know what, if somebody is into someone, and let's say they're thinking to buy real estate, it's not, oh, I'm going to buy an apartment for us, and so, because everybody knows that us, on the first arguments, turn into, look what I done to you, look what I done for you, but without looking what they done to. Okay? You're into someone, make sure they have, don't buy them a house, make sure that the policies are such that they have housing independent of ability to work, that regardless of where they live, they are safe and free. And it's also for you because let's say you live with someone and then something not compatible. I don't know, people one wants to grow children now, one not yet, one is still healing themselves, one, I don't know, needs to meet their erotic needs. Many things can happen. What happens if people think to separate? People need to have, people that have separate houses, they do live better. Because anything that still goes on the Nazi ideology of making one person financially dependent. It takes more. It takes affection. It takes saying I love you. It takes You know, those hugs are important. But it also takes the same reason, the same emotional reason of providing for, also in business, that provide for the people. And you know what? From my experience, my Pluto square has been, I've been doing astrology, and it has been a year in my Pluto square where I was doing whistleblowers chart, um, actors charts. Yes, I began with scientists and philosophers, but also certain celebrities chart, um, uh, and then politicians chart. And the up jump of my Pluto square, okay, showed me that when it comes to, even if it is knowledge, when it comes to wealth, comes Pluto square, comes Pluto's transits, politics is a big part of it. Economy, politics, knowledge is an issue. And it's not for nothing that um, sometimes they call the family household or the couple household a business, because not because the people don't love each other, but because they do have to think about how does this business run in terms of budget. Now, this person, they meet a person that when they thought about business idea and business models, they thought about what each person being able to have their own brand. Each person, if the money comes in, then it's immediately divided into equity. Okay, so but not by leveraging on the account of people that, okay, but by actually being equitable, by actually acknowledging the fact that people have their ups and downs, highs and lows, and um, and leaning in to be able to take time for ourselves to be is important for success of anything. No such thing as business, okay? And I'm saying this as a person that is a part of the things that I keep. No such thing as business, you know, and I remember from my own experiences, and no such thing as business where the business model doesn't hold, even if it's global, that each and every person within the business can have a home, um, the vehicle of what they need to travel, and I'll tell you even more, that their passport is valid around the world. And I remember that there's a channel called Yes, and one of the people came from Egypt, and he had a weaker passport, and they had done something as a company to get him to have a better passport, so that it is more valid around the world. I don't know how that worked, but those are things that global businesses need to think about. It cannot be that if I have an employee in Egypt, an employee in Palestine, an employee in Jerusalem, an employee in Texas, okay, an employee in Albania, that one of them can travel the world and one of them gets harassed by the board. And if a business doesn't think about being a global business, it will hit the glass ceiling and then have a crisis about it. There's no need to have a crisis about it. I did astrology for intensely for 5 years before my Pluto square. Nothing in the world could have prepared me for my Pluto square year, and now I'm in my Neptune square. Neptune and Saturn conjunct. It's around my Neptune square. On the world degree, my Neptune is 1 degree, but then the conjunction on the world degree is 1 degree for my Neptune square. Nobody could have prepared. Now, Neptune and Saturn are to do with China, Russia, happening in the 8th house of NATO. Okay? Of course, those things matter. For there to be love, the world has to accommodate. And what I'm reading into the energy is that somebody is running into that in a person. Now, it's not unfamiliar to that person. These are people that they may have been involved in something revolutionary before. They may have been the type of people that, flock this person and there is revolution. But now they see that when it comes to the secret societies, when it comes to wealth, when it comes to abolishing ritual abuse, when it comes to even the idea of trading oil and gas, why? Why do we need in 2025, okay, a century and a half after Nikola Tesla, that we remember because he patented the idea? It was another guy that had the idea of free electricity. And the only reason would be is because people still think slavery is okay. People still think people have to have electricity 24/7 so that they have work at night shifts. No, that's not what free electricity is there for. Free electricity is to warm ourselves in the winter. Free electricity so that we wouldn't have to work for energy. Just think about how dumb it is to work for energy. Because those corporations we work for that are follow the money, follow the money, follow the money, owned by those who argue about basically gas and oil, some rare earth minerals, and make world wars around that. And here's the thing, that person that ran into the person that ran into the person's business ideology, um, they were partaking in things that change the world. So amazing, if you partake in something that changed the world, abolish satanic abuse. Allow business framework that are actually yielding. Allow people to have good rest. Allow people to have housing independently of, okay, if you're the next, let's say JP Morgan, if you're the next John D. Rockefeller, okay, show for it. Show that you're not keeping the world in a century of stagnation. Show that you're not thinking, show that you are undoing the mistakes of your predecessors. And it's a part of connecting with lineages. Who are the people that influence you? For example, a lot of my work at around age 40, now 41, 39, was to think about the fact that, let's say, Richard Feynman really affected my thinking. Okay? I had to deal with the fact that he was a member of secret society. I don't know if he would be on Epstein list, but very likely he would be. Very likely he participated in energy harvesting rituals. How did that affect his worldview? Okay, you can't be, uh, um, how should I say that? Participating in the ideology of the devil at one day and then hugging an ideologist in another. Okay? Because, I mean, you can hug an ideologist, but if that ideologist agreed to accept your hug, but then you might end up being hugged. And to change that, you actually need to change the world. Not in a do and not be seen rape. Okay? And this is where um, yes, this is where um, this transformation is really required to be. People want relationships, they want love, they want, and it's all natural and good. But then they go into secret society, vote out women, commit treason, funnel, okay, participate in energy sorcery, require, take away job opportunities, and then require the person that they drain their energy, harass them sexually, um, prevented job opportunities from them, okay, expected them to work in a working sector that doesn't fit, not even a chair for a barista, when, you know, taking all the traumas that that person had all of their life, completely ignoring them, and expecting them to pay the loan that they didn't even inform them taking to buy a house that will be their house. Even if they would say, I would write this real estate also on your name. Okay, that means I'm going to hug with you? That means I'm on Epstein list? What does that mean literally? That means we divorce and you take all the real estate and my name away from that? That means we divorce and you hire someone to shoot me? Like, taking away my prospective work opportunities, thinking that if I have no other job, then I will work for you. No, there's like, doing all the things, all the possible mistakes that someone could do on the way to have happy relationships. That's basically. Now, if somebody say, okay, I want to fix that, amazing, fix the economy. Fix the parts of the economy that you participate in. Because when you are sick and need have mental crisis, you get a cleaner and a budget for this and a budget for that and a budget for that, and all from the state, all arranged because very likely you did crime for someone. If I just needed somebody to help me clean the house, they say, no, you have to be doing that yourself. We don't come to help you to clean. You need to do that yourself. When I'm studying a fucking degree as rehabilitation with something that is beyond PTSD. And all my friends get, everybody that has a conversation with me gets their right met. And I'm tending to the problem that literally, if all of the line of businesses around me in a certain sector are dealing with the problem, I'll be the person that will be solving that problem for all these line of sectors of businesses to be able to enjoy. And then I'm looked at as the person that doesn't want to work. Go listen to satanic ritual abuse survivors' testimonies for hours upon hours upon hours, and then try to bridge that with the very politicians that commit that abuse. And explain in another window, explain each and every implication that that has on the medicine, on the real estate, on the jurisdiction. Over food stamps type of salary, when you live with your parent, that if you need to light some candle or some incense, they can't stand the smoke. And they can't tell you, well, when you live in your own apartment, because you escaped a place to try to leverage the rent on trafficking you at freaking 41. This is the face of our world. People try to pretend and go about their businesses. Go try to risk your life thinking of solutions to people that are pedophiles, and which one of them doesn't want to harm children and would be wanting solutions to rehabilitate from that, knowing that there are solutions, knowing that talking about that triggers each and every survivor of pedophilia that probably wants to murder first you, the speaker, before even those offenders, because it triggers that issue. And they've seen so much done under the guise of helping that is bringing them back to these trafficking cults, to this Aleister Crowley do and not be seen cults, that anybody that talks about that subject is considered, world suspect. You think that won't affect your business? You think that's not what's underneath inflation? Go and bury yourself in this pile of goo of humanity, and then come out alive saying, oh, wait a second, every time they change a currency they have to take care of more human rights, and now this issue is coming up. That's the opportunity within that muck, and they go and market that opportunity. Around you, billionaires who pretend to build housing projects but are doing sorcery to steal energy from wombs of women that causes femicide. ex-mafia bosses that are informants and have alcohol companies, they probably want to be a legal and legit business, even though they're very likely behind targeting and torturing shit ton of people, of civilians, with the promise that they would become from mafia to informants and have a legal coverage. But they had to do crime. People who try to prevent their political assassination but don't know what they did in Thailand, and then it pops up that there is a survivor of ritual abuse by them. And you're a single woman in your 40s trying to live a life, run a business, not even a megalithic business. And then your most safe investment that is not weapon or no touch torture under the guise of surveillance technology. Who do they surveil? Not one another. One another they are in contact with psychically. They have all they meet at Epstein, they have all the pictures. They don't need to surveil anymore. Economicity. Wondering which one of your women rights activists came from a well-known family, and was that family by Epstein or not? And is that why she turned an educated person turned into those three monkeys? Don't know, don't hear, don't see. After they, for a decade, tried to get you to file a complaint in the same, now to their defense, they were filing complaint in the same system, in the same system where the judges have to rape children to get a position, you know. Go write a satire about the cult. While your thesis, while your prospective thesis proves the body-mind connection and the technology that shows the seen part of the don't be seen after do. All the while you're trying to apply advices like, oh, safe attachment, people can express what they feel, what they think, and so on, and not be afraid of losing the safety of the connection. People should communicate around things. So, people that think that they won't run into these problems with their businesses, with their life, Are there medical bills or need? How many people need to see the teeth doctor? Saturn is about to meet an outer planet. Okay, that's how I know. Saturn Uranus square. Everybody needed to see a teeth doctor, and there would always be delays around that. Saturn Pluto Jupiter conjunction. Everybody needed to see a teeth doctor, but it was a pandemic. Now Saturn is meeting Neptune. Yesterday I ran into a boy that needs a donation of kidneys. But in Israeli hospitals, at least, there's so many cases of people raped under anesthesia. So how will somebody donate kidney? They need to have someone that they can trust while they're sleeping with them. Nobody will. It's not PC to say that, but nobody will risk them being in that situation. To donate a kidney, yes, that's a life risk, but that's normal. But to go to those type of why? Because some doctor needed to get their license to be a doctor, so they needed to rape a patient to come over. So they are extortable, and then they can be trusted, and then they will have a home and will have this, and everybody will think that it's from the salary of being a doctor or a psychiatrist. That's life. The world actually has to change to accommodate for love, relationships,